Hello Zhang Linghe fans, welcome back to this channel. There's one issue that, even now, even as the calendar has entered July, fans are still talking about. An issue that didn't actually start with a big confession. There was no press conference. No official statement. Not a single direct statement. We're together. But that's precisely why this issue has become even more intriguing. Because sometimes the things that most intrigue fans aren't what a celebrity says, but rather what they don't say. And then, in June 2026, two simple posts from two names very familiar to fans suddenly made many people pay attention to every little detail again. Tian Xiwei and Zhang Linghe. It all started on June 11th. That day, Tian Xiwei shared a seemingly simple video. A night scene, a quiet street, the city lights slowly moving around her, and a song that immediately caught fans' attention. The song was Summer Wind. A song with a romantic feel, gentle and full of feeling. In fact, there were lyrics that resonated deeply with some fans. Clearly telling me that you love me. Simple words. But when they appeared in a video of a quiet night, the atmosphere felt different. For some, it was just a song choice. For others, it might have been just another post. But for fans who had long paid attention to every little detail of Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei's journey, the post felt like a puzzle. It wasn't because Tian Xiwei said anything directly. It was because he didn't say anything. And that's where curiosity began to arise. Why that song? Why that night? Why did the atmosphere feel so calm, so personal, and so different? Of course, there was no evidence that the post was directed at anyone. There was no statement confirming this. But in the world of fans, a single song can sometimes open up 1,000 questions. And when someone already has a strong history of chemistry with their co-star, then every little detail can seem so much bigger. Fans began to take notice. They began resharing the video. They began to discuss the atmosphere of the post. And slowly, a question began to emerge. Was it just a coincidence? Or could there be something deeper behind the song choice? But what makes things even more interesting? A few days later, on June 18th to be precise, Zhang Linghe also uploaded a video. This time, the atmosphere was different. Zhang Linghe was seen visiting her alma mater, a place connected to her past, memories, and her life's journey. A place that was certainly not just any ordinary location. And then, fans discovered another detail. The song used in the video also had a theme about wind. Wind. A theme that, coincidentally, or perhaps for some fans, was simply too compelling to ignore. While Tian Xiwei had previously uploaded a video with the song Summer Wind. Then a few days later, Zhang Linghe came with a wind-themed song. The wind carries my memories of you. The wind carries my memories of you. And here's where everything changed. To the average person, 2 songs. 2 uploads. 2 different dates. Nothing unusual. But to fans who paid attention to the sequence. June 11th. Then June 18th. Tian Xiwei. Zhang Linghe. Wind. Memories. Feelings. And a romantic lyric that had previously given many pause. Was it all really just a coincidence? Or were fans seeing something they were never meant to see? The questions began to spread. And as usual, when a small detail starts to attract attention, the internet starts doing what it loves best. Looking for connections, looking for patterns, looking for answers. Even from something that may never have been intended as a message. Some fans said, "It could just be a coincidence." Some replied, "It could be a coincidence, but why does it have to be a wind-themed song?" And then another comment, "Don't jump to conclusions." But it's hard not to notice. That's what makes this issue so powerful. Not because there's direct evidence, but because there's room to ask. There's room to guess. There's room to imagine. And amidst it all, the names of Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei are back in the spotlight. Many fans still remember their chemistry, aka the way they interact, the glances they've shared in various moments, the small smiles that once left viewers wondering, And of course, their journey that made many fans feel that their on-screen relationship had something very special. When two people have strong chemistry, sometimes fans don't just see the characters they play. They start to notice the people behind the characters. And perhaps that's why a simple song can evoke so many reactions. Because fans already have a story. They already have memories, they already have countless moments to compare. So when a new detail emerges, that detail doesn't stand alone. It's immediately connected to everything that's happened before. And suddenly, a video of Tian Xiwei's night, a visit by Zhang Linghe to his alma mater, and two wind-themed songs seem like small pieces of an unfinished story. But then, a much bigger question arises. Are fans really seeing a code? Or are they just trying to find meaning in two posts that are actually unrelated? This is where we need to pause. Because in the world of celebrity, a song isn't a confession, a post isn't a confirmation, and a coincidence remains a coincidence until someone directly says otherwise. However, that doesn't mean the fans' curiosity is invalid, because fans don't just pay attention to the words. They also pay attention to the atmosphere. They pay attention to the time. They pay attention to the song. They pay attention to small details that others might overlook. And when two posts appear relatively close together, with a similar theme, it's natural for many to start wondering. Moreover, Tian Xiwei chose a song with such romantic lyrics, clearly telling me that you love me. That line, of course, immediately caught our attention. Not because Tian Xiwei had ever said the song was about anyone. Not because there was an official statement. But because the words of the song carried such emotional meaning. And a few days later, Zhang Linghe came up with a song with the theme, Memories of You. The wind that brings memories. The wind that moves. Passing places we've been. Bringing back feelings we've held. And reminding us of someone who might still be in our hearts. Was that just a fan's interpretation? Of course it could be. But it was precisely that interpretation that brought this issue to life. Because everyone saw it from a different perspective. Some felt, there's no connection. It's just a coincidence. Some said, maybe they just have similar tastes in music. But there were also fans who felt, somehow, the timing seems too interesting. And then, a phrase that often comes up in discussions begins to emerge. If there really isn't anything, why do we feel like there is? But perhaps, the answer is actually very simple. Because fans want to believe in the story. Because the chemistry they've seen is so strong. Because these two names have long been part of fan conversations. And because when a relationship on screen feels so real, many people hope that that warmth might also have meaning in the real world. But then again, hope isn't proof. Fan feelings aren't confirmation. And rumors are still rumors. That's why this issue is so interesting. Because it treads the line between fact and interpretation. On the one hand, we have two real posts. Tian Xiwei on June 11th. Zhang Linghe on June 18th. Both use songs with wind-related themes. But on the other hand, we don't have a single direct confession. There were no words. I chose this song for him. There was no message. This is a code. There was no statement. You guys are right. And it was precisely because there was no answer that the fans kept asking. Perhaps that was the most surprising confession in this story. Not an admission that they were in a relationship. Not even an admission that the song was meant for each other. But rather an admission from the fans themselves. That they still couldn't stop paying attention. They were still looking. They were still comparing. They were still looking for signs. And perhaps, because for them, the story of Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei wasn't truly over. Every time a new moment arose, they recalled the same moment.